We start the show off today with a short interview with a pretty cool little dude, Grady Daugherty. He's a miniature bull rider, and we got to sponsor him a few months back at some of the events he was competing in. And of course, if anybody knows me, I will, if I can work in a way to ask someone to be on the podcast, then I'm going to ask. So we had a little interview, and Grady did a really good job. Very appreciative that he decided to come on and talk to us for a little bit. You can check him out on Facebook. Search for Grady Daugherty Bull Rider. We'll also make sure to share his page over on Hillbilly Broadcast and in the Fraternal Order of Hillbilly Broadcast, our Facebook group. So here he is. All right, Grady. So tell me a little bit about yourself. You're in the sport of bull riding, huh?
Yeah.
Well, first of all, how old are you?
I'm almost 13.
Almost 13?
Turning 13 in April.
And you're a bull rider?
Yes.
And how long you been riding bulls?
3 years, about.
Jeez.
3 or 4, maybe.
Jeez.
3.
So how does this come about? Like, what's this conversation that you have with your mom and dad? How's this happen?
Well, she brought me to the mech, and I got on a calf as a joke. And then I couldn't stop. I don't know what she would say, though.
Did you watch bull riding or follow it real close before this, or what?
Well, I didn't really watch it on TV, but I watched it when I went to the MAC and stuff in Salina.
No, what's the MAC? What you talking about there?
It's a bull riding arena.
Ah, okay. So you got on as a joke, and it just stuck, or what?
Yeah, basically.
Gee whiz. Now, do you like other sports? I mean, was you ever into like football, baseball, or anything like that?
I played baseball for like 2 years maybe when I was little.
So the bull riding is it's surpassed all your other sports.
Yes.
And why is it? I mean, is it the thrill of it, the danger of it? What draws you to it?
Thrill.
Heck yeah.
The thrill.
So the first time you got on a calf first, and then how long after that do you graduate to you're on a full on bull?
When I turn about 16, probably I'm going to get on a bigger one, or 15 maybe.
You guys are that's right. Was it miniature bulls, or what are they? They're
miniature bulls.
Now, how soon after the calf was you climbing on a miniature bull then?
About a year maybe,
okay.
Or 2.
How do you even get into this thing? I mean, were you raised on a farm? Is that kind of?
No, I live in town. But
you live in town. That's cool.
I saw that because I have some bull riding arenas around my location. I've got one down the road, and I've got one in Van Wert. If
we're allowed to say, what state are you in?
Ohio.
Okay. I think it is a lot bigger out there than it is here, miss.
It is.
That's one of the things I love, going to bull rides and stuff like that, but it's not that big here. We have a couple come through.
Well,
PBR's
let
gonna be really sweet.
Let me just say though, Jane Lou, if you mention it, they're like, "Oh, you went to go see that bull ride, didn't you?"
Yeah, because somebody gets tore up down there
every time. It's like that ambulance is taking off. Speaking of being torn up, have you ever been injured or anything?
Oh yeah. Walk us through some of that.
I've broken 4 bones, 2 major ones, and then just the other 2 were just little chips and breaks.
And keep in mind, as you said before you got on the mic, he's going for 13. He's 12. And this dude's been
and he's already broken 4 bones.
This dude's tearing it up, man.
I'm 33 and I haven't broken anything yet. And he's like, I'm 13 and I've broken 4 bones. That's when you're dedicated for sure.
So back to you were talking about you lived in town, but there were you got some arenas around you, and
yeah.
So most of the other guys that you're around, do they kind of have a similar story? Most of them coming from town, or is it mostly farm boys doing this?
Well, I think maybe, but I don't really talk to much bull riders.
Really?
Well, except my friends.
So what was the finals that you went to this past year?
That was IMRA finals. I made it to top 5.
Made it to top 5.
Good job.
Heck
wow.
Yeah. If you hadn't had our name on your shirt, you probably went a lot farther. We're bad luck.
Oh, no.
When you get on the back of one of these things, does time does it slow down for you? Does it all happen just in the blink of an eye? Walk me through it. I've never done it. I've for years I talked crap that I was going to, but I never have. So I want to hear what it's like.
The beginning for me is it just happens so fast, but then when I get through like halfway, it's kind of smooths out. It's just that first turn out the chute.
And you kind of get your focus back and all that?
Yeah.
What's your plans for the future, Grady? You going to keep doing this thing or what?
Yeah, maybe. We'll see where the road takes me, though. Because if I keep riding like that, I'm going to have back issues and can't walk.
Grady, I think you're one cool dude. You've got a lot more guts than I do. And we really got a kick out of you letting us put Hillbilly Broadcast on your shirt. And,
thank you for letting us support you.
We look forward to seeing a lot more of you, man.
Thanks for supporting me.
Yeah, man, no problem. When you get to the Unleash the Beast tour, don't forget about it. Save us a sponsorship spot or something. You know what I'm saying?
Give us a shout out.
All right, man. Thanks for talking to us.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Yep. Good luck, buddy.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
I'm going to say another. Is this thing on?
I can never get enough volume.
So I was thinking about something. Do you guys remember how like the CHM preachers, we'd be sitting like in revival service or something like that, and they would always like paint this doom and gloom picture of like the world's about to end. But never fear, we get to sit in church together for eternity.
Yeah, what is up with that?
I'm like, it's not adding up, guys. I don't like the no deal.
Well, I also heard someone say something about, with that same idea. We're all going to be together, like constantly singing the same song over and over again. Because like the angels in heaven, they're always like, holy, holy, holy is the Lord God Almighty. And they're going to be singing that forever and ever and ever. Now, it says the angels are saying that. Does that mean that we'll be doing that too?
I don't know. But the pictures that they painted of heaven
was awful.
Were not that great.
Yeah. So now I'm just like, I do not want to go yet. Please, Jesus, do not take me.
Something else I noticed that preachers will do that kind of cracks me up is they'll present this straw man argument. Like they would talk to themselves during the sermon. I'm trying to think of an example. Man, I can't even think of one, but they would always like have this where they would paint this straw man, and it was just this argument of somebody that was just a flat out doofus, and then they would commence to tear apart that doofus and be like, "There, see, I'm right."
Okay.
Yes.
Like, there's no evidence at all about it.
Well, they'd pick out, like, I know down in our area, they'd pick out, like, one random, like, numbnuts, Yeah. And then just, and out of, one idiot out of, like, thousands, look at him. Look at what he has done. What a wreck he's made of his life. It's like, you're talking about one guy out of thousands. It's like, come on.
I think, too, what I'm talking about, they would say they were preaching about that, all women should wear dresses or something like that. And then they would play the part of this other guy. They would be like, "You mean we shouldn't all run around naked, Brother Sparks?" "No, we should not go running around naked."
Oh, okay. I was totally off base there. We were on totally different wavelengths there.
Yeah.
But I think I do. I have heard similar stuff like that, though.
Oh. Yeah. I know someone, I think it was Don Van Zant, posted a picture of a guy with like red bloodshot eyes. He looks very angry and upset. And he said, "You should be as happy as I am because I'm full of the Holy Spirit." And he looks like he's about ready to beat you over the head with his beer bottle because he literally looks like a drunk.
Do you guys remember Chick Tracks?
Well, let's not stereotype drunks. I mean, come on.
Well, there's mean alcoholics, Kanan.
You guys?
I've always been nice. I mean,
Yeah, an alcoholic. Are you admitting something to us here?
I've always been nice. Oh, wait a minute. Am I saying this one line right now? I'm on the air.
You guys remember the Chick Tracks though? The comic book tracks.
Oh, the horrible ones that had like graphic pictures of things that would happen to these people out in the world if they didn't have Jesus.
Yes.
Yeah.
Legit scare tactics.
Are those? Is that sort of like what you're talking about, Phil?
Yeah. That's it.
Yeah. down home they had this church that would have like this thing you walk through, and it had like different like phases, like it was like the first one you walked in, and like it was a husband and wife getting in the car, or maybe a girlfriend, whatever, then it had the next scene, them traveling, leaving the bar, and then the next scene was like them in a car accident, and the next one was hell, and they'd have the heat turned up full blast.
The heat turned up full blast.
Yeah, no joke, man. No joke.
You're serious? They act. Oh man.
Yeah, it'd be like really hot in the room. Like seriously, like I'm not even joking. Like they'd have like it was like really hot in there, and I mean it was fixed up pretty cool, but like it just a total scare tactic to get and then of course there was an altar at the end and some holy water and stuff. No, I'm joking.
I can remember what's that show? It's out of North Carolina. Is it John Boy and Billy? I think it is.
John Boy and Billy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, they would do these bits, and they had this guy that would come on and he would act like a preacher, and somebody had been around the holiness movement is all I know, because they was cracking this joke about how they'd set up this haunted house and the preacher was talking about all this scary stuff. He's like, you go around this corner, there's a woman in here wearing a pantsuit. The next room, there's kids watching television.
And I'm like, okay, these things are not wrong. Let's keep on moving on.
I remember those chick tracks used to scare me to death because they had oh, you got one.
I actually, yes, I found this. I was doing some housework.
I remember they had one something about this girl had dared to hitchhike, and she got picked up by Satanists, and I think they were going to sacrifice her.
Yeah, and she wasn't right with God, and so she was like, oh yeah, the victim, like the horrible things. Yeah, this one right here looks like Canaan.
What was a gorilla?
Which one's that?
It's a gorilla. It's a gorilla. And the title of this one is Big Daddy with a question mark.
Yeah, that's what they call me.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, sorry.
Oh my goodness. But basically, someone took this whole thing. I don't know exactly when this one was published, but it talked about evolution. And it's basically we believe, or God's not dead. There we go. Remember they did the
God's not dead?
God's not
I remember
dead,
the movie,
song? Yeah. Okay.
Oh, yeah,
the song and the movie and everything. And so basically that's what this is based on.
What?
To be able to offer like all the facts.
Oh, I see.
Of everything.
The sad thing is the facts that come out of Jack Chick and his publications.
Yeah, I don't know.
Are they really facts?
Well, I mean, they do offer some interesting things.
That's true.
Like the concepts of like the stars and how it develops with all the gases and stuff like that. But
I got some gases building up right now. Yeah.
You prepared for the Big Bang Theory?
I don't know about you guys. I'm tired tonight.
Oh, I just
I'm a little tired
myself. So
yeah, you just woke up.
It's been one of those weeks.
Has it been one of those weeks, Cannon?
It's been a rough one.
It just seems busy all the time, man. It's just go.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it's kind of the story of my life.
Yeah.
Actually, I got something I want to get you guys' take on. This was back right about the time that the Damar Hamlin thing was going on. So this has been a little while back. But this article caught my attention, and I found it really interesting, and I wanted to see what you all said about it. So the article's from Breitbart, and the headline says, athletes call for Skip Bayless to be fired over Damar Hamlin tweet. Athletes have called for Fox Sports to fire anchor Skip Bayless for his tweet in response to Damar Hamlin suddenly collapsing during the Monday Night Football game this week. That's how old the article is. It was, written the week of.
Okay.
Here's what he said. No doubt the NFL is considering postponing the rest of this game, but how? This late in the season, a game of this magnitude is crucial to the regular season outcome, which suddenly seems so irrelevant, Bayless tweeted on Monday night. In response to the backlash, Bayless later specified that he did not mean to diminish Damar Hamlin's deeply serious situation. Let's find some of the backlash he got. There he did an apology for the tweets.
What were the tweets about though? I didn't read the tweets.
What I just read, where he's wondering,
you just skipped a bunch of
why are they going to postpone the game because Damar Hamlin was hurt. Mm-hmm. And he was saying it's late in the season and it's an important game.
Okay.
Here we got Des Bryant tweeted, we need to cancel Skip Bayless ASAP. DeRoy Gardner, are you seriously talking about when the football game should be postponed? Damar Hamlin's health is all that matters at this moment, nothing else. Yeah, I agree with that. Apparently, there were people that were outraged that he said what he said enough to they wanted him fired.
So did he ask why are we canceling this game, or was he saying like, or was he just kind of like making a statement like, this is an important game?
Kind of making a point that it's an important game, and he was wondering why is it being canceled. Okay, not the greatest thing, right? I mean,
not cool,
well,
but enough to make the guy lose his job.
Yeah, I'm sorry, that's just a little drastic. That's like the one extreme to the other. Like, okay, we should go ahead and just cancel the game, and then another one is like, "Well, lose your job then." Like it makes two extremes on either side. It's just
it's like it's just
they're
weird.
Passionate about different things, but on the opposite sides.
Yeah, I mean, you're allowed to have an opinion. I think people forget that anymore. It's like, he had an opinion about it. I mean, do I maybe necessarily agree with that opinion? I mean, no, probably not. Like that is, but on the other hand, like, should he lose his job over it? Nah.
And he wasn't saying anything maleficent or anything towards Damar Hamlin, correct?
No, he was just saying.
Exactly. He was just saying, this is an important game, right?
Yeah, that's what it was. Yep. And granted, like Kana says, I don't agree with that. Yeah, I'm not all for canceling the game, whatever.
Yeah.
So here's my question then to you guys. Is this a new thing? This whole, because we always hear about cancel culture and all that.
Yes.
Is this kind of outrage? Is this new, or what are we looking at here?
No, I think we're getting to the point, this is my personal opinion, I think we're just getting to the point that people just want to cancel anything they don't agree with. And that gets very, very touchy and scary, because the people in power, if they start getting that type of attitude, they'll just start canceling anybody and everybody for no reason.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm actually just kind of asking a question like kind of out loud here. That's kind of what Trump was fighting against, wasn't it? I mean, back when he was running, like he talked about, like, they don't like something, they'll just cancel it, like no questions asked, no looking into it. It's like, we don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
It's like just get rid of it. We don't like what he's saying, just get rid of him.
Instead of listening to what they have to say, because it's maybe some people are just shooting at the mouth, right? And they're just like offering ideas. Granted, it's drastic. But just because someone says something off the wall doesn't mean we just immediately we're not friends no more. You're done.
Yeah, exactly.
But in order to get to that place, though, you do have to respect that person too. And these people don't even know this guy personally. They know nothing of who he is. He might just be a real royal butthole, but he might actually be a nice guy too. So if you don't know him and his approach on things, you're going to be like, yeah, his health. Like, he didn't say anything about his health. He just said something about the game being canceled. My goodness.
Yeah.
Cannon, you bringing up Trump and his running and all that. All of that around 2016. So he would announce in like 2015. Mm-hmm. It almost seems like a blur. Like, I have a hard time remembering the specifics. That was so wild.
I do too. Dude, you think about this, man. This is what's wild is, like, you're talking about, like, how long ago that was. Like, that's when I first moved to Indiana. I mean, and you know what I'm saying?
Oh man,
that was that was like almost 8 years ago. To think about that.
It doesn't feel that long ago though, because those were good times.
Oh, they were amazing.
I had a lot of fun fighting with people. They were
amazing. Oh yeah, well, I mean, we all did.
That was fun to get into those political debates. I can remember when I was driving a FedEx truck and being so scared that Hillary Clinton was going to be president. And it was like a long ways away from the 2016 election, because I think I started driving FedEx like 2014. Mm-hmm. And I can just remember I would get this physical feeling in my gut, like just almost this dread of like, oh my Lord. I was all wrapped up.
I remember when Obama won.
And I remember that too.
And I remember feeling like honestly sick to my stomach. But I will say
I was scared.
Yeah, like you felt like your stomach just like hit the floor, and you were worried about the future. Yeah, you really were.
But then a lot of our church people didn't help, because they're just like, get ready.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They're coming for you.
Yeah, that's exactly right, dude. That's exactly right. And that's and they said the same thing in 2012 when he got elected again, man.
Oh yeah.
Like, it's on now, Of course, dude. And of course, now we're fast forwarding a little bit, but as soon as Biden got in, my grandpa, we were all sitting around at Christmas time, and my grandpa, he looks at all of us and he goes, "I'm just going to warn y'all right now. Next year, you mark my words.
You mark my
This is going to look totally different." And so I'm like, "Oh, okay." I was like, "Well, we got to keep the faith, got to keep hope, what are we going to do? Climb under a rock and stay there until somebody else gets back?" You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
okay. So then the next year at Christmas, like literally nothing in my life had really changed for bad. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. I can remember my pap loved him to death. He's one of the best men I ever knew. Yep. But man, he could be a real Debbie Downer when it came to stuff. I can remember one time.
Him and his blood moons drove me crazy.
Oh, he was all about those blood moons for a while, wasn't he?
And I'm like, Pap, this guy is nuts. Oh, yeah. Please look into him more. Like,
I can remember being a kid, and of course, every boy at some point wants to join the military. Mm-hmm. I remember just being like, "Yeah, Pap, I want to join the army."
I remember that.
And he used to call me.
You and Kanan went to go. You talked.
Oh, this was a long time before that. This was long. Like I'm talking.
I went in there on crutches.
Okay.
I would have been like maybe 12 at this time, and he's like, "Phil, you don't want to be joining the army right now. Pretty soon the blood's going to be running up to the horses' bridles. It's going to be Armageddon."
Oh my gosh!
It's like, whoa, dude, man.
Okay, Pap, you're right. This is not the time to go into the army.
Obviously, this is not the time.
And you know what's crazy?
Obviously, you are correct.
Well, okay, listen though, because like your grandpas are like giving you advice, right? And they're the ones that have the relationship with God that's like no other, right? We trust everything that they say, and so when they say these things, we're like, all right, I better listen up here. This is a little scary. I really think that maybe there could be something going on. Like he has a better connection to God than I do because we're still young and rebellious and all this stuff. So I mean, straight up, it was like scare tactics with people that love us.
Now, yeah, Pap had good intentions. Like it was.
Yes, no, but they love us. But it was like
they do.
It was just like really good for your mental health during that time. Well,
now
I might as well not go do this.
Now, shifting gears just a little bit,
mm-hmm.
And just a little different direction, but it kind of ties in a little bit. Was the people you were around, were they very like conspiracy type focused? Like they're like big into conspiracies?
Oh yeah.
Okay, that makes it because so were people down in my area. Like one guy was like, "Yeah, the doctor's saying I need to get a pacemaker, but I've been telling you, I just don't trust the government stuff. I mean, what if they get mad or whatever, and they can just like shut me down?"
Oh wow! Oh my gosh!
I'm like, I like start laughing like right there kind of in front of him because I'm just kind of like, I'm like, what? Like, what are you doing to piss the government off?
Yeah, how popular of a man are you?
Okay, just to be like, wow, okay.
Oh, dude.
Wow.
That is so naive.
Yeah.
They obviously
that's kind of stupid.
Yes, they were stupid. You're right. Like,
I mean, it's like, goodness, like, are you that dumb? Like, that you really think that, like, so I guess if anybody's got a pacemaker and they start pilling over, we'll know it's not because of the bad heart, but it's because of the government.
It was the
government.
The government wants you no more, so boom, they're shutting you down.
You have the pace. Yeah, they have a button. They have a button for all the pacemakers. They're just like, okay, we're done with you guys. Click, and we just turn off all the pacemakers, and you're dead.
Exactly.
Like, well, I guess we'll find out. We'll find out with mine.
I think
we'll find out. We'll find out.
Well, and I think they try to like tie that into being like, well, it's population control. They're going to try to control. If you get to a certain age, and we're just it's like, oh my goodness, guys. So I wanted. Yeah,
I heard that about.
That was the best one I've ever heard, though.
I heard that about the water.
Water.
The water is has stuff in there for population control. So to make people aren't.
Now, did you
able
hear
to
this
kids.
from church people? Were the church people you were around buying this or what?
I I heard this from like when we were still in the church. So I heard it from my parents talking.
Oh, that makes sense. It must be true. It's got to be true.
Must be true.
And then I also heard about chemtrails.
See, that was stuff I heard
plane.
outside of the church.
Well,
that was just my experience.
This might have been something that my parents. You heard about too, Kanan?
Yeah.
Okay. So I heard like this from my parents, but it was probably because they were talking to certain people.
Yeah.
I'm sure, because there's always like, crazy John up in Pennsylvania. Not my brother, John.
I noticed a lot of so many of the church people that I can just recall as a kid, it was such doom and gloom. Like there was never a bright outlook. It was always like this, we've got probably 5 good years left.
Yes, I've heard. Yeah,
and I just remember as a kid being like, I need more than 5 years. I want to make love to a woman before this all comes to an end.
Right? I want to have sex first. I don't want to die first. I don't want to go to heaven first.
Gotta bang it out before I die.
Especially when the Bible says there's no marriage in heaven, and you're like, so what? I can't have sex up in heaven. Like you definitely do not want to be.
I was like, count me out. I don't want to be in heaven. You done lost me. Let me tell you something. I would have lived in the CH. I would have stayed in the CH gym all my entire life if I could have had sex in heaven. I said, you know what? I'm out of this. I'm done. Oh man. CHM rules and their sex in heaven. Screw it. I ain't doing that.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Do you guys remember watch night services?
Oh my word.
Yeah.
I don't know what y'all's experience was. I was in just a handful of them, if I remember right.
Oh, lucky dog. I was in every single one of them.
Oh, I can remember the one I went to was up in Ohio somewhere, and it legit went from like 8 until midnight of just pure torture.
Oh, yours went. Oh, lucky you. Ours started at 6.
And went all the way to midnight?
Yes.
No.
6 hours?
Tell me this. How many preachers did y'all have?
So I can remember having 2 or 3 at the one.
Okay. Dude, no joke, dude. They had like, oh man, I don't want to exaggerate this up, but it was like, they'd have like 12 to 15, I think, preachers.
Oh, my Lord.
And they would preach like, 10 minutes apiece, sometimes less. And then like when they got to a time, they would ring the bell. No joke. I'm not even joking. I'm not making this up. And I remember my dad, he loved ringing that bell. And I remember one time my grandpa Gene, my dad's crippled, he can't walk or do anything. Yeah. And my grandpa Gene literally kicked the bell away from him and kept preaching.
He said, wait just a dang minute.
Oh my Lord.
He said 10 minutes is just not near long enough, man. I got But dude, and then we would have several preachers.
Oh my.
I mean, sorry, several singers.
Yeah, we would have special songs. Like each person had to bring a special song, so it was like the same 5 people up there singing the entire time. Because you were bringing your friends, and you only had 5 people, and so you were like, yeah. So I want Jim, Joe, and Harry. I want them all up there. We're just all going to be singing, and there's just like a constant rotation of the songs.
Well, I can remember being scared too as a little kid because we're like, it's a watch night service.
Wouldn't it be wonderful if the Lord came back?
They just be like, the Lord might come back at midnight.
I know.
But by the end of the service, I'm like, Lord, please come back at midnight. I can't take anymore. Dude, he's terrifying.
We lived some messed up childhoods, man.
We're traumatized, man. You're traumatized. To this day, I do not care about a lot of this New Year's stuff. I'm like, no, I'm going to bed. I'm going to wake up tomorrow. It'll be okay.
I enjoy New Year's, but watch night service, gosh, no.
Yeah, I enjoy New Year's, but man, I don't do this whole watch night service stuff anymore. There was talks of them doing it again in our area here, and I'm like, you all do that? I will be at the nearest bar.
You talk about lining people up or to come sing. Do you guys remember when people would just call on you to testify? Did they do that in your church, Miss?
Yes. I'd like to hear so-and-so testify.
You know who one of the worst people about that was?
Dave.
No.
Oh, who?
Bless his heart, my dad. My dad.
Oh, really?
He went on this spell where he'd just be like, Philip, I'd like to hear you testify. I'm like, oh boy. And you just get, I mean, what are you supposed to say? You know what?
It's like your dad. So I think my dad did that maybe a couple of times.
I got zero confidence at this point anyways. And I'm just like, I'm glad I'm saved and sanctified.
Yeah.
I got the 2 S's in there.
Yes.
And then you go to sit down and everybody'd be like, you could always, there were certain people that were good at testimonies too.
Yes.
Like certain people get up there, man, they were like, they're giving a speech like these dictators in history. You know, they're pounding on the seat and they're screaming and the whole crowd's all. And then others of us, we'd get up and testify and they're always give us like this little obligatory, like, bless his heart. Amen. Yes. He's doing his best.
Yes. I know, like, way to really ruin your confidence because, like, you can hear them. Oh, bless him and help him, Lord. Bless him, and you're just like, oh man, that I'm making an idiot of myself.
Dave used to say that a lot. He would do the whole. Somebody'd get up and they'd start wandering into territory that it was getting awkward. He'd just be like, bless him and help him, Lord.
His eyes would dart around like grands.
Do you guys remember? Like sometimes there would be people come to Uncle Dave's church and they would get up to like have a song, like a special song. And some of them meant it's like they didn't have no self-awareness. They'd be like, actually the Lord has laid 2 on my heart. And Dave would be like, I think 1 will be fine. He's like,
yeah, we have time for 1 more.
Oh, dude. Oh man! Oh, dude.
He just would not put up with it, man.
That's you know why? You know what?
No, it wouldn't.
You remember how Dave used to do the whole like melody, and it had like 7 songs right back to back, and it would just continue on and on
just
and
keep
on.
rolling.
Yeah, someone wants to do that to him, so he just made his own little parody of songs because he didn't want to get interrupted.
Yeah, that was.
I wonder where that tradition came from, though.
I don't know.
What's that,
So
Mariah?
weird.
Like testimonies. Like who thought of that? Like, let me get up and brag on
Somebody
myself.
drunk. Somebody got up in church on a hungover from Saturday night festivities, and they stood up and I was like, I just
So it
want to
was
thank
you.
you. Well, you know, I just want to thank the good Lord for what He's done for me and my family. And everybody starts shouting and hooping and hollering, you know. And it's like, let's keep that going. And he like wakes up and like, what did I do? I was like,
This the more we talk about this, like the more memories are being jogged.
Yes.
I also remember there would be the occasional person that would stand up and start yelling at the preacher.
What?
Oh, you didn't have this?
No.
Oh, it must be a West Virginia thing, man. I remember there was this.
What do you mean yell at the preacher?
cuss him out, say, you know,
He said, "Say what?"
No, we want to be like Rodney Loper and say the F word from the pulpit. I want an F word every now and then.
I do have that recording.
You do,
dude. Well, what was it? I don't know if I should name names, but I'll go ahead. I think it was, which is a super cool guy, but he was he was an ICHA, and he got to throw in chairs, and then he runs up on the he runs up on the platform and starts hugging brother Stetler, Dan Stetler, and Dan Stetler said, "You're hindering me more than you're helping me there, Dan."
Oh no! You're hindering me more than you're helping me. What in the world?
Yeah, buddy. Yeah.
That sounds like the whole statement that someone made. You're beating us down. You're beating us down.
We need that on a T-shirt. You're hindering me more than.
Oh man, one time he was at our camp when I was younger. He was at our youth camp, and Dad had him take an offering, and he said something about like, man, God's gonna multiply this money, and he like takes that money and like shakes it up in the basket and then just throws it. I mean, money's going everywhere, dude. I'm not even joking, dude. Pandemonium broke out amongst those youth because them youth were diving for that money, and the adults were like, no, put it back in the bucket, put it back in the bucket.
I got to go back to the one with Dan Stetler for a minute. So Dan Stetler's up there preaching, and this guy starts throwing chairs.
So he is a very you have to know this guy. I don't know him extremely well. I've only met him a handful of times, but he is just like, he is a redneck out of Southern Indiana. He is he's the type of guy. Well, just to like little stories. So there was a guy. There's several stories, by the way, that would help make you understand a little bit more of like his character.
Yeah.
They were all outside of his. They're out back of his house, and they were all having a bonfire. And well, actually, if you want to take this name out, you can. But I'll go ahead and tell it because it'll mean more to you guys. It was on this little dirt bike that he got running for him, and kept taking that dirt bike, running it right up to Dave's chair, and then stopping it real quick. And he did it a couple times. He did it a couple times, and told him said, "You do that one more time, I'm going to take his chair and I'm going to break it over your head." And so Nico decided he was going to test that, and made good on his promise.
Did he really?
No.
took that chair and wore him out right over the back of the back and head, dude. And now it didn't hurt him. It was a plastic chair, so it really didn't hurt him. But that's just the kind of guy that you're dealing with. I did, another funny story was it was because he's actually a pretty wealthy individual, and another business guy was riding around in this like $1 million subdivision, and riding around in this old pickup truck, and like, watch this, and literally drives up into somebody's beautiful yard and down the other side.
Oh.
And it was just like, and they were just, and this other guy's like, I was just mortified. He's like, I was like, we're going to get arrested.
Holy cow.
So
Yeah.
so that's just kind of what. So this is just kind of the guy you do. It just funny, just does spur of the moment things. And you'll probably want to take his name out.
I will. Yeah, I'll take his name out.
But so anyway, he's at ICHA camp, and it's a good service, whatever they're shouting, praising God. Well, there's a bunch of these empty chairs, and he literally just starts walking through them, dude, just tossing them, praising God, praise God, and then like chairs were just like flying, dude. My dad was on this little buggy, my dad has them little buggies or whatever. Yeah. Dude, my dad he had that thing wide open, man. Trying to get out.
Put it in reverse. Put it in reverse.
Trying to get out of harm's way.
No!
That's awful. Oh my Lord.
Oh my gosh.
Oh man.
Oh,
dude.
I can't believe I've never heard about this guy from you.
Oh my. Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah.
Just thinking about this guy throwing chairs, and Dan Stiller finally you're hindering me more than you're helping me.
Dude, yeah, because like he like literally got up on stage with him, dude, and was like hugging him or I think he might have been smacking him on the back or something.
Oh man.
Oh.
Yeah, that was just rough.
I think one of the most lively services I've ever been to was obviously overseas, but like on America's side, it was from my dad when he was climbing the back of the pews, doing the example of the woman with the issue of blood trying to reach for Jesus. That people were shocked on that one. And another one that he did, he would go from just standing like on the platform to standing on the pulpit in like less like half a second flat. And they're like, how is he able to jump that high? And I'm like, well, let's see. My dad does not have the issue with gluttony. So you can probably do that easier than the average CHM preacher.
I know they say Marshall Smart used to like do cartwheels and stuff down the aisle.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
That's heard.
That's interesting.
Did you ever hear about him jumping out the window?
No, wait a minute.
So,
I don't know if I have or not.
So he was preaching at this one place, and they got in a big almighty way, I guess, as they would all say. And so he got got all wound up, and he jumps out this window that was like right off of the platform. He jumps off that, but he said he did not realize that, like, he didn't stop to think that like the tabernacle was a lot like Clinton Camps, where it would go down.
Oh
no!
So by the time you get to the platform, you have quite a jump.
You're like 25 feet in the air.
And he said he took the plunge and jumped out that window and had time to think about what he'd done on the way down.
Oh, that brought him to his knees very quickly.
He had time to think about
it. They said that he came in limping. He was limping pretty good after that one.
That's terrible.
Well, talk about people falling. Did you ever hear about Brother Rice falling off that roof?
I think we've heard about this story.
I don't know. It's the same Rice that would chase us all at Clinton Camp?
No. This was brother. I think his name was Raymond Rice.
Oh, I've heard of Raymond Rice. Yeah,
Raymond Rice. Well, Raymond Rice was he went to hold a revival with this little church, and this widow lady let him stay with her, which is kind of weird. Like, we could dive into that one just for a second. Like, the more you think about that, like, you're going to hold a revival, you're a pastor without you're an evangelist without your wife, you're going to stay at a widow's house. Like, wouldn't you want to like somewhat protect yourself? Like, the rumors are flying.
Oh, especially the CHM, anyway, they'd have to be.
So anyway, moving on, she lets him stay at his house or her house, and he was in his room and realized that he did not go take a shower, and he didn't like tell her he was going to take a shower or whatever. And he didn't, I don't know if he wanted to go back out of his room or frighten her, or maybe trying to keep the rumors down. Like, I'm not going to like socialize with this woman. So
yeah, just trying to stay.
It's raining. Yeah. Just trying to stay to himself. So a story has it, it's raining really hard. So he decides, well, I'll just step out onto this roof and I will take kind of a shower that way, which it can actually be done. If anybody's asking, me and you have done it, Phil.
Oddly enough, together.
There's a lot of things that you two have done together that you probably shouldn't admit.
Probably so.
Rolling naked in the snow.
Yes, that was one of them. But this time we were rolling naked at Cheat Mountain in the rain, and that was, quite awesome.
And then Tiger Lake,
all said stuff.
Tiger Lake,
you
guys snuck down
Tiger
there.
Lake.
Wow,
So,
there's been a lot.
Yes, we did.
Man.
You guys are naked a lot together.
A lot more of these stories than I initially realized.
Anyway, the reason I bring up me and Phil doing the shower is if you're sitting here listening to the podcast and you're like, oh, there's no way that's actually going to work. Yeah, it can be done.
It can be done. And enjoy the mental pictures.
Yes, enjoy. So he is standing up here on this roof and taking his little shower. He falls off. Okay. Well, the only way this guy's naked, So the only way back in his house is if he, knocks on the door. Well, so he does. Knocks on the door, and all he has to cover himself is a washcloth.
They told about, I forget which preacher for sure there was, but he was preaching at a camp, and his living quarters was right at the back of the platform. Mm-hmm. And so he gets ready, it's like his bedroom's like right there. He gets ready, and then he could just open his door and step it onto the platform.
Man, that's nice.
And he gets ready and goes and sits down on the platform and he realized he forgot to put his pants on.
That's what Son Cannon would do.
On purpose.
Cannons would have been intentional.
Intentional. I'm very intentional with what I do.
This I've laughed so hard tonight. This mesh that they've put in here is straining.
Now
I gotta try it again so I can get an ending in here.
Oh man.
Oh man.
Dude. Oh, man. Well, hey, we can bring it down to an end, if you want. Man,
we might as well.
Dude, I think we got enough material. That's actually a pretty good podcast.
Oh Lord, man, I just kept remembering crap. Man.
Yeah, I know that was one of the best, man. That was great.
It's so funny whenever you sit back and look at it. You're like, what in the world was all that?
Yes, 100%.
Here's the thing. I think we could probably, especially if we were sitting around one night,
Yes.
and somebody turned a tape recorder on, we could legit go for like 4 hours just telling crap like this.
I would say so. I would agree with that 100%. There's so much we could say.
I think the craziest story I ever remember is my dad. I think he did the splits or something, and he split his pants
while he was preaching.
While he was preaching, and he actually took his suit jacket and wrapped it around the
What did he try to do? Like,
to cover up,
like inconspicuous, like, or what did he?
No, he said, "I think I just split my pants," because you know how my dad is. He's very like,
he just gets it right out there in the open.
Yep, my pants are done, and we're like broke as a joke because like preachers, they never get any money. Like at least my dad never got any money.
Dad, you're doing this thing wrong. You're supposed to be.
Dad didn't brown nose enough.
Yeah.
That was a problem.